Senator Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of our panelists today. Um, I have some concerns, strong concerns about what's happening at the federal level as it overlays to the discussion in front of us, especially about effective teachers. As we speak, the President and the Secretary of the Department, Secretary McMahon, have delayed billions of dollars of funding and canceled critical grant programs, really cut the legs out from the Department of Education by firing nearly half of the staff. In Wisconsin and many other states, as we're hearing, we're facing a teacher crisis, particularly in special education. Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction surveyed 165 school districts and found that nearly 75% of them had vacancies in special education, and only about 1 in 3 school districts were able to find qualified special education teachers to hire. Instead of assisting Wisconsin's efforts to support our special education students, this administration has decided to really cut programs that help us get those teachers that we need. For instance, in February, President Trump and Secretary McMahon cut a grant program that would have trained 36 special education teachers for the Milwaukee Public Schools, because according to the Department of Education, this program included DEI. Mr. Murie, following your retirement this year, I understand your school district experienced a very abrupt grant cancellation. Wonder if you can talk about how these sort of sudden cuts affect students ultimately in the school district, and what it means for the district's budget and impacts on the students served by other programs.
So thank you for that question. I think in public education for years throughout my career have always experienced ebbs and flows financially, and so our opportunity and in this situation in particular is to figure out how do we continue to serve students to the very best of our ability, given the fact that funding may not be available from a specific stream. And so it is at the local level, we are sometimes shuffling, looking in one pot to pull some money and invest in another. We use strategic abandonment sometimes. Some programs that we have may be performing well, but we have to eliminate it because the funding is no longer there. But at the end of the day, decisions that we make at the federal level, the state level, the local level, ultimately impact the children that we serve. And so investing in those that serve them, our teachers and principals, again, makes a remarkable difference. And when we see those funding challenges, it creates challenges at the local classroom level.
Ms. Winthrop, last week you co-wrote an opinion piece for the New York Times on how AI is impacting education. Recognizing that artificial intelligence is a tool that is here to stay, it is critically important that we equip our students with the skills to utilize this technology and protect themselves from its potentially harmful effects also. As you point out in your op-ed, we must not let AI do the thinking for students. What guardrails can be put in place, either nationally or in the classroom, to ensure students have the skills to responsibly use AI while still developing critical thinking skills?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I think there's 3 things broadly that need to happen. One is to make sure that we use AI, much like has been discussed by fellow panelists today, that is designed soundly, pedagogically by educators, deployed by educators. I am sure that the AI tutors that my fellow panelist is using in Indiana is not on the whole World Wide Web, the content. I'm sure it's vetted content. So AI that has vetted content and is used pedagogically soundly in the classroom is a good thing, and it has to be deployed with an adult, intermediating, like a teacher who can, or a school leader, et cetera. The piece that I worry greatly about is all the AI use outside of school. So young people, I've talked to many young people. I talked recently to a young man who said, oh, my school banned ChatGPT, but now I go on Snapchat, I talk to my friends and I ask it to do my math homework for me. They're using, AI is everywhere outside of school. We are cutting schools off at the knees if we don't get guardrails by AI companies and social media companies, because they're all mixed together now, age verification, and making sure kids don't have access to open-ended, independently sort of engaging in AI open-ended platforms. That can be very, very detrimental, because if given the choice, given that we have very little engaged students, what do you think kids are going to do? They are going to ask their AI friends to do their homework for them. And then thirdly, I do think we have a real opportunity to transform education inside how we teach, how we learn. We have to make it more active, engaging, interpersonal, and AI literacy absolutely has to be a big part of that. We see our, fellow countries around the world leaning in on holistic AI literacy, from the EU to China even, actually, really trying to make sure kids not just use AI in learning, but know how it's designed, know that they have agency over it, and know the pitfalls of it. So those are the things I think need to happen.
Thank you.
Senator Tuber.